Here is the paradox. Suppose your code, math, medical, or encyclopedia corpus is valuable but finite. When the model grows, compute optimal training also grows the total token budget. If the valuable corpus stays fixed, its fraction of the stream shrinks. The larger model may therefore receive more tokens overall while seeing proportionally less of the domain you care about. Repetition is the obvious counter move. Replay the scarce domain data so it is not diluted by fresh web text, but every replay carries two effects at once. It reinforces reusable structure and it gives the optimizer another chance to memorize sample-specific noise. The question is not whether repetition is good or bad. The question is where reinforcement stops paying for its own overfitting. Now the board has enough objects to define the experiment. Let n be the number of model parameters. Let d sub n be the total training tokens, fixed by d sub n equals TPP times n. Alpha is the fraction of the budget occupied by unique high-quality tokens, so U equals alpha D. Repeat that fixed subset E times, and the model consumes H equals E alpha D high-quality token presentations. The remainder is fresh web data, W equals 1 minus E alpha times D. Notice the distinction. Alpha changes how many different domain tokens exist. E changes how often the same subset returns. Their product, E alpha, changes the final domain share. At a fixed model size, every recipe spends exactly the same total number of tokens, only the composition moves. Yes as a measurement, no as a mechanism. The paper evaluates held out token average negative log likelihood, L equals minus the average log probability of the correct next token. Perplexity is simply exponential L when natural logarithms are used. Because exponential is strictly increasing, the repetition count that minimizes validation loss also minimizes validation perplexity. And a loss change delta L multiplies perplexity by exponential delta L, but perplexity does not cause the optimum. It is the dashboard. The mechanism is the competition between learning signal and fitting noise. Also, use in-domain held out loss, not training loss. And be careful comparing raw loss across domains. Tokenizer choices and irreducible domain entropy can move the baseline. The paper's cross-domain correlation is strong evidence, not a universal causal law of perplexity. To expose the mechanism, the paper replaces the language model with a solvable one-hot regression problem. One coordinate k represents one knowledge unit. Suppose that coordinate appears m times in a dataset of d observations. Its noisy labels average to y bar. Full batch gradient descent updates only this coordinate. Theta at step r plus 1 equals theta at step r minus eta m over d times theta at step r minus y bar. Start from 0. The recurrence solves exactly to theta r equals 1 minus a to the r times y bar, where a equals 1 minus eta m over d. Repetition is now a contraction dial. Each extra optimization pass multiplies the remaining distance to the sample mean by a. This r is a theoretical analog of repeated exposure, not literally the paper's experimental epoch count e. Condition on that same count m, the coordinates expected population error has the form r at r equals a times a to the 2r plus b times 1 minus a to the r squared. A is the signal energy still not acquired. B equals p sub k sigma squared over m, the variance of the sample mean after weighting by the coordinate frequency. The first term falls with repetition. The second rises as the fitted estimate approaches the noisy sample mean. Here is a useful deduction. Set x equal to a to the r, then R is ax squared plus b times 1 minus x squared. Differentiating gives x star equals b over a plus b. Therefore, R star equals log of b over a plus b divided by log a. More noise raises b and moves the stop earlier. More clean signal raises a and makes another pass worthwhile. The exact paper equation sums that scalar story over every represented knowledge unit. 3 terms appear. First, coordinates beyond model capacity are unrepresented knowledge. Training longer cannot recover them. Second, knowledge acquisition error contains k to the minus beta times the expected contraction a sub m to the 2r, so it decreases with repeated optimization. Third, noise fitting error contains sigma squared times 1 minus a sub m to the r squared over m, so it increases. The optimal stopping time is the earliest r, where the marginal variance penalty overtakes the marginal signal benefit. This also explains the small noise theorem. As sigma squared approaches 0, r star grows like log 1 over sigma squared divided by minus log 1 minus eta over d. Lower noise delays overfitting but does not abolish it. This is the paper's most important experimental control. If d stays fixed while n grows, the model exposes new, rarer coordinates without receiving more observations. Beyond a crossover n naught, the paper proves that the optimal stopping time cannot increase and may decrease. That is the familiar warning that larger models overfit repeated data sooner. But practical scaling usually keeps tokens per parameter approximately fixed, so d grows with n. In the theory, when d over n approaches a positive constant, the optimum scales as theta of d to the zip f exponent divided by the signal exponent. Since that exponent is positive, the optimum grows. The contradiction disappears. Larger capacity alone pushes toward earlier stopping. Capacity plus proportional new data pushes toward later stopping. Never transfer a repetition rule across scales without also naming what happened to d over n. The experiment sweeps 4 domains, 4 model sizes, from 348 million to 1.85 billion parameters, 3 unique data fractions, and repetition counts 1 through 7. For every setting, the authors fit a quadratic loss curve. L hat of E equals AE squared plus BE plus C, then estimate E star as minus B over 2A. The strongest association is not unique data fraction. It is the minimum in-domain validation loss. The Pearson correlation with estimated optimal repetition is minus 0.944. Model size is a weaker positive 0.400. Unique fraction is almost flat at 0.018. Math tolerates roughly 5 to 6 passes. Code about 4 to 5. Wikipedia and medical about 3 to 4. These are bounded observations from this grid, not universal constants. Related work gives us 3 useful lenses. Muennighoff and colleagues replace raw repeated tokens with effective data. D prime equals U times 1 plus R star times 1 minus exponential minus R over R star. Early repeats count almost like fresh data. Later repeats saturate. That law captures diminishing return, but not a rising overfitting loss. Lovelace and colleagues add an explicit penalty proportional to repetition to a power times a model capacity to unique data ratio. Repeated tokens remain useful and costly at the same time. Sedova and colleagues study scarce target data mixed with abundant generic data. Their unsaturated generic data term acts as regularization, allowing 15 to 20 target repetitions in some settings. The present paper's distinct move is a fixed TPP cross-scale per domain sweep plus a stopping time explanation for why the optimum moves. 3 ablations prevent a simplistic recipe. First, at a fixed total domain fraction, rho equals alpha e, replacing fresh domain tokens with repeated ones is domain dependent. Math loses little from 1 to 4 repetitions, while Wikipedia degrades much more sharply. Code and medical also prefer additional unique data. Second, when both the domain share and web share are fixed, replacing unique domain tokens with repeated tokens changes arXiv and news out of domain loss only slightly. The visible damage is mainly inside the repeated domain in this setup. Third, learning rate decay shifts the optimum. Earlier decay produces degradation after fewer repetitions, while a constant learning rate tolerates more. The paper suggests low learning rates fit sample-specific patterns more closely. Repetition count is therefore a property of the data, model, budget, optimizer, and schedule together. Here is the paper-backed procedure. Build a smaller proxy model and keep the same tokens per parameter ratio as the target. Choose a representative unique fraction from the tested range. For each domain separately, sweep repetition counts while holding total tokens fixed, and score a clean held-out in-domain set. Fit a smooth curve only if it is convex over the observed region. Otherwise, keep the best measured point and widen the sweep. Use the smallest repetition count whose uncertainty interval is statistically indistinguishable from the fitted minimum. That makes the proxy result conservative. Then verify an out-of-domain guardrail and downstream tasks before scaling. Report validation loss for fitting and perplexity for readability. Never tune on training perplexity and never assume one domain's count transfers to another. We can push the paper's logic one step further as an extrapolation rather than a reported result. Suppose several domains compete for one token budget. For domain D, estimate the next pass gain per token as G sub D of E equals validation loss at E minus validation loss at E plus 1 divided by its unique token count U sub D. A positive G means the next replay still buys held out improvement. Allocate the next block to the domain with the largest positive gain while enforcing an out-of-domain loss constraint. Stop when every marginal gain is non-positive or smaller than the opportunity cost of fresh web data. This discrete rule is the budgeted version of the theorem's marginal signal versus noise crossover. It naturally gives math, code, medical, and Wikipedia different schedules instead of one global epoch count. Keep the boundary visible. The experiments repeat one high-quality domain at a time, cover 4 domains, 4 sub-2 billion model sizes, 3 unique fractions, and at most 7 repetitions. The main runs use one optimizer family and mostly a constant learning rate. The minus 0.944 number is a pooled correlation, not proof that raw loss alone determines repetition. The theorem is linear regression with one-hot knowledge units, power law frequencies, Gaussian label noise, and optimization steps R, rather than literal language model epochs E. Multi-domain interactions and a quantitative large model transfer law remain open. The durable mental model is simple. Validation perplexity is the thermometer, repetition is the treatment. Signal acquisition and noise fitting decide when to stop.